Welcome to Joyful Money, the podcast for business owners who are ready to shift their money story, grow their business, and create real abundance from ease, flow, and alignment. I'm your host, Joy Roland, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you reprogram your money mindset, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. No more hustle, no more burnout, just powerful mindset shifts, grounded strategies, and a whole lot of joy. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this exciting episode of the Joyful Money Podcast. I am so grateful to have you here. The reason is because I know there are thousands of other things you could be doing with your time, and each week you decide to spend time with me on this podcast. And for that, I am so grateful. I am so thrilled to have you here from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And for all of you who have left me reviews, I want to thank you as well, because reviews are one of the ways that the podcast gets to new audiences. So thank you if you've left me a review. And if you haven't left me a review yet, please head on over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave me a 5-star review. Hopefully a 5-star review. I'll be so grateful from the bottom of my heart. Today, I want to talk to you about how to manifest lots of money fast. Oh gosh, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I love talking about money. But before we dive in, one quick update. I'm running a weekly series called the Business Clinic. Now, inside the clinic is where I get to help you for free for 1 hour. You get to get my personal time in your business, and I'm going to help you get unstuck. Many people are stuck in no leads, no sales, imposter syndrome, procrastination, all of those things that are keeping you stuck in your business. I'm going to help you get unstuck so that you can start making money. So that's my goal for this business series. Now, head on over to any of the social media, click on the link in bio, like the link tree, and you land on select the option that says the Business Clinic, and you can sign up to get my personal help inside of your business. If you know me very well, you know that when I put out free content, I put out my best content. So even though this is free, I promise you it's going to be so impactful. And those who've worked with me for free know that they get value. In fact, many of the testimonials I get from people is, oh my gosh, I did a consult and it was transformational. And that's exactly what I want for you. And so the Business Clinic will be running every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It is completely free to attend. You come in, I coach you, you get results. That's my goal. And that's what lights me up. There's nothing that lights me up as much as when I see my clients making lots of money in their businesses. And that's my goal for you as well. So that's the update I wanted to share with you. Now, the reason I'm not putting the link in the description or in the show notes if you are listening on the podcast is because for 2 years I've been running this podcast. People would go back to my series from 2 years ago, and if, let's say, an offer I'm offering for free is no longer available, they're going to be so frustrated. So that's why I'm putting all the links in my bio, so that when you go to my bio at any time, you'll have up-to-date links. Okay, so today I want to teach you how to manifest lots of money fast. How did this come about? Well, must have been on Wednesday. I went to bed as normal, and then I woke up in the morning and someone had booked a call in my calendar. The booking was for 3 a.m. my time. Like the time the person made the booking was 3 a.m. my time, and it was for 10 a.m. in the morning, 10:45. And so I attended the sales call, discovery call. And at the end of the call, the person signed up for my highest package, which is $20,000 paid in full. That's my SEO, my business setup, all of the tech I do in the background. And so a couple of my friends were like, oh my gosh, how did you manifest such amount of money in such a short period of time? Now, I never knew this person. he found me through Alignable. There's a platform called Alignable. That platform is only available for people in the US and Canada. It's for business owners. So he found me on Alignable. He said he binged my YouTube like my masterclass replays. Now, if you know me, I teach you to do masterclasses once a month, or I call it the VIP workshops. You do that once a month and you post the replay on YouTube. So this person had found me about a few days before, and he went binged all my masterclass replays, and he decided he wanted to work with me. And so I just wanted to share with you that it's not necessarily the strategies, right? To manifest lots of money fast, you have to become the person that can earn lots of money fast. Now, I teach strategies, right? I have specific strategies I teach inside of my program. But the people who get results are the people who do the inner work to become an energetic match for the kind of money they want to attract. So let's say you want to attract 50K per month. Whatever your number is, let's say your number is 10K or 20K. For you to attract that number every single month, you have to become an energetic match for that figure. So here are the strategies I teach. I teach you to do one monthly masterclass, make offers in that masterclass, VIP workshops or masterclasses. And then the other strategy I teach is to go guest on other people's podcasts. That's the second strategy. And the third strategy I teach is affiliate program setup. So this is where you set up an affiliate program for your business so that other people sell your program for you. So those are the three main strategies I teach. Now, just knowing the strategies isn't going to get you results, because at the end of the day, there are other people doing exactly what I do, like doing the exact strategies. Like those strategies aren't unique to me. But the reasons why I get results fast and the reasons why my clients get results fast is because they do the inner work. And this is what money manifestation is all about. Now, there are lots of money blocks that hold people back from attracting the kind of money they want to attract. Now, you may say, oh my gosh, what do you mean? How can I have money blocks? Excuse me. This is how it works. Your money blueprint is imprinted by the age of 7. Everybody's. Now, I have studied this so in-depthly, and it's a part of neuroscience. It's called it's the science of how the brain works. Now, researchers have found that by the age of 7, our money story is already embedded. And I want you to understand that money isn't just paper, right? It's not just the dollar bill. That's not just what money is. Money is actually energy. And for you to understand how to attract lots of money fast, you need to understand that money is actually energy. And energy responds to how we think, how we feel, and how we show up, and what we believe is possible for us. So let me give you an example. If money is energy, it then means that for you to attract money, you have to be aligned. So think of this like a magnet. If money is energy, money can act like a magnet. And money will only be attracted to energy that's like it, right? So if you take two magnets and you try to pull them together, they're likely going to repel, right? Because they're exactly the same. But if you had a magnet and you had a metal pin, for example, like the pin is just going to, right? Because the magnet is going to pull the pin, which is metal, straight to it, right? So if you want to attract lots of money fast, you have to become an energetic match for the kind of money you want to attract. So let's use 20K as an example. You want to manifest $20,000 every month. You have to become an energetic match for $20,000. It means that you, as a person, you have to become an energetic match so that that money is attracted to you. But many people have so much money blocks that blocks them from attracting the kind of money they want to attract. And that's why they keep doing all the strategies. They post on social media, they do all the things. And yet they keep struggling month after month after month. They keep struggling to attract money. We already know that it isn't just the strategies, because if it was just the strategies, anyone could copy exactly what I do and they'll be successful, right? But I know people who copy exactly what I do, but they're not finding success. The reason is they are not an energetic match. So I want to teach you how to become an energetic match for the kind of money you want to make. So if you want your bank account to grow every single month with 20K, so we landed at 20K every single month, you have to become an energetic match for that. Now, it's not just chanting affirmations. Now, don't get me wrong, I have affirmations myself, but for affirmations to work, you have to believe them. Now, I could have a list of, let's say, 50 affirmations, and I read those 50 affirmations every single day. I know people that have been reading affirmations for 10 years, and their money situation has even become worse. The reason is because you have to believe them. There is no faking it until you make it. It doesn't work. You have to believe those affirmations. Why? Well, did you know that the chemical signals that go from our brain to our body is only 20%, and the signals that go from our body to our brain is 80%? What does that mean? It means that your brain will read the signals that come from your nervous system, the way you feel in your body. The signals, how you feel in your body, is what tells the brain whether it is true or not. So you can't just say, oh my gosh, I manifest $1 million this year. You can say that until the cows come home. If your nervous system doesn't believe, it's not going to work, because your brain is reading the signals from your body. So if you want to attract lots of money fast, you have to align it to your nervous system. You have to believe it from the inside out. You cannot fake this, right? You have to believe it, and there has to be an emotional connection. The other thing is, you have to be in the frequency of the kind of money you want to attract. So, how do I mean frequency? Well, many of the things we see with our physical eyes happen in the lower frequency. Doubt, fear, uncertainty, all of that happen in the lower frequency. If you want to attract lots of money fast, you have to be able to operate at a higher frequency. And how do I mean the higher frequency? The higher frequency is what I call the God zone. That's where your higher self operates. Your higher self is the part of you that doesn't have doubt. Your higher self is the part of you that has ultimate wisdom. Your higher self is the part of you that can see that the kind of money you already want to attract is there for you to attract, that the universe has already made that available to you. So your higher self can see that already. If you want to manifest, you have to be able to uphold that vision of your higher self, and you have to be able to hold it long enough until it becomes a physical reality, until it becomes a physical manifestation. So many people will do affirmations in the morning. They are so pumped, they believe, and then by noontime, they're already listening to the news. The news is telling them the stock market is down. and then they drop from that higher frequency into the lower frequency. The reason I love this work so much is you can tell when you are operating at higher frequency. How? By your emotions. Our emotions are the compass, like the guiding system on how we know whether we are operating at a higher frequency or the lower frequency. So, for example, I already told you doubt, fear, overwhelm, all of those operate at the lower level. The level where money manifestation actually happens is at the higher frequency, and the emotions that rule that frequency are love, joy, excitement, gratitude, certainty. If you want to manifest money fast, you have to be able to operate at that higher frequency and take aligned actions from that higher frequency. Remember, I told you earlier that the actions and the strategy really, really doesn't matter. It's what you are thinking when you take those actions. So, if you know me, you know I talk about the law of attraction a lot, but the law of attraction only works if you take aligned action from your higher self, from the higher frequency. That means when you are taking the actions, posting or whatever the actions you do in your business. Like, for example, for mine is when I'm doing master classes or when I'm guesting on other people's podcasts. I am operating from the higher frequency. I'm taking those actions from a place of love, joy, excitement, certainty, gratitude. That's the frequency I take those actions from. And that's why I get results. So that's the secret to manifesting lots of money fast. Because here's the thing, in the God zone, manifestation happens like this fast. There is no there's no sense of delay in the higher realm, in the higher zones. So how do you manifest? Well, you pick a number, right? So this is how I teach manifestation. You pick how much you want to manifest, which is the asking. You ask the universe, I want $20,000 in my business every single month. So you get specific. Okay, so maybe you've been trying manifestation and you've just been like, oh, I want an income increase. That's not going to work as fast as choosing a specific number. So you have to get specific. So let's go with the example of 20,000. You want to manifest 20,000. So you ask and you say, dear universe, I now have $20,000. So that's the asking part. The next step is to receive. I'm sure you're like, how do I receive? Well, you receive in the higher realm. So you start to give thanks. Okay? You receive and then you give thanks. You give, like, you start to act with gratitude. And so you give thanks because you know that the universe answers fast. Your job is to then make that manifestation in the physical realm. And how you do that is by taking aligned actions from your higher self. And this is where I go into your gut instinct. Many people have lost touch with their gut instinct. Your intuition is your guiding light. Okay? And your higher self is always trying to speak to you. But nowadays, we are all so busy with distractions of the world, the news, the stock market, the tariffs. We're distracted with our gadgets. We're always on our phones. We're always on Instagram. We're always watching something. And that distraction stops us from listening to the wisdom that comes from our higher self. Your higher self is going to give you specific directions on exactly what to do to attract the kind of money you want to attract. I can give you tons of examples about how my higher self has guided me to manifest money very fast. I'm going to give you two examples. Now, I've given you these examples, this one example before, and I was getting ready for my master class. It was the day before, and I just had this nudge to add my payment link on my slides. Like, I had never done this before. I had never added my payment link on my presentation slides. I use Canva for my presentation. And because I'm very intuitive, I just obeyed. I'm like, okay. And it was the day before. So I quickly created the WordPress page. I used WordPress, like did the back end, put the payment link in my Canva slides. And lo and behold, I got to the point in my presentation and somebody paid live on the call to join my program. $5,000 paid live. And I'm still having goosebumps talking about it, but I listened to my intuition and took action. That's an example. Another example is the business clinic I just launched. I actually just launched a few days ago. How did this happen? I was a speaker at a conference. It's called the Beyond Patient Care Conference. And so I spoke for 1 hour. So the conference is for doctors, nurses, clinicians who want to start running their own businesses. So after the conference, somebody sent me a DM, someone who had listened to me talk, and she wanted my help. And so we jumped on a Zoom call. And on the Zoom call, she shared where she's stuck in her business. She started running her business since the pandemic, and she hasn't signed one paid client since. And so I helped her, I dove into what the problem is, and I was able to get her unstuck. And after the session, she said, oh my gosh, now I know what my patients feel when they come to me. This person is a medical doctor. And she goes, now I know what my patients feel. I feel like I've just seen a doctor, a business doctor. And I'm like, gosh, that was when I just had this, my higher self telling me, gosh, that's what you need to do. You need to run business clinics. Can you see how this works? I'm like, gosh, yes, of course. I'm a business doctor. I help people get unstuck in their businesses. And now I'm launching a series called a business clinic. So that's an example of how your higher self will give you guidance. But like I said, you have to be able to hear and you have to be able to take action. Remember, I said you take action from a higher frequency, not from fear, not from doubt. You're taking action from love, from joy, from gratitude, from certainty. Certainty is the key. You have to be taking action from a position of certainty. Your beliefs, what you believe, actually become your reality. How? Well, I promise you, I am not just making this up. I've studied neuroscience because I'm like, how does the brain work? How does the brain work that helps people to get results? And I found something called the RAS. The RAS is the reticular activating system. It's the part of our brain that filters out what we see. What do I mean? Well, we have so many information coming at us. So if you can imagine billions and billions of information that our brains will need to process, that's a lot of information. And this information is coming from the outer world, the world around us. Now, what the RAS does is to filter all of that information to only show us, our brain, to only give our brain what it needs. And that RAS, that filter, is determined by our beliefs. This is why somebody who believes that the economy is bad will always get clients who cannot afford their services. Somebody who says the economy is bad will be the one that never signs clients every month. But the other person who thinks, I have the power to decide what my economy is, that person has a different RAS. Now, it's the same world, right? Like, we all live in the same world, but we all have different results. The reason why we all have different results is because we all have different filters. If you think making money is hard, That's what the your RAS will find. Your RAS will always find evidence of what you believe. And that's why you keep repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. If you think money doesn't grow on trees, I have to work so hard to make money, that's the result you keep creating. But I believe the economy is fantastic. That's my belief. And that is why I attract people who are able to pay me in full. End of. Because my RAS, because I have that belief, my RAS will filter the world and only give me evidence of what I believe. So if you want to manifest lots of money fast, you have to change what you believe. Now, you might think this is easy to do, but it isn't. The reason it isn't easy to do is because you have so many subconscious thoughts. The thoughts you've been thinking about over and over and over again that have brought you the results you have. It's going to take work to identify those thoughts. And many times, you cannot identify those thoughts yourself. Now, it's possible if you do the inner work, if you journal, if you're able to do a thought download. My coach calls this a thought download. This is where you wake up in the morning and you just pour out everything your brain is thinking on paper so you can see that on paper. But sometimes it takes another coach to actually help you see the thoughts you're thinking subconsciously that is bringing the results you want. Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, we all want to be wealthy, right? So if I asked you, obviously you're listening to this podcast. This podcast is called Joyful Money because you want to be wealthy. So at the rational, logical level, you want to be wealthy. You want to have abundance. But at the subconscious level, and what I mean subconscious is beyond your consciousness. You're not even aware that you have that subconscious thoughts. And remember at the beginning, I told you that our money story is embedded by the age of 7, right? So the thoughts that are creating the results you currently have, which is not making money consistently, the thoughts you're thinking are happening at the subconscious level. So the work you need to do is to dig out and find those subconscious thoughts that are sabotaging your success. Until you do that, my friend, strategy really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there are tons of people that are doing the exact same strategies I do in my business and they're getting zero results. And that is why I am so passionate for you to do this inner work. Once you remove all of those thoughts holding you back, gosh, manifesting money becomes so easy. In fact, the rate at which you're going to start manifesting money, you're going to be so shocked. Why? Because you become a money magnet, because you become a client magnet. Like I said, money is created through energy. Money itself is energy. And for you to attract money fast, you have to become an energetic match for the amount of money you want to attract. That's the fastest way, my friend. So I don't want you to get bogged down too much with this strategy. I want you to do the inner work so that you attract money effortlessly. You attract money with ease, with flow, with alignment. Aren't you tired of struggling for money? Aren't you tired of being on the struggle bus, of hustling for money? It starts with your money identity. It starts with the inner work. And remember, I told you this can happen very fast. Okay, so action item, because I don't just want you to listen to this episode and say, oh my gosh, that sounds really good, right? That's not going to get you results. The time you're going to start getting results and when you're going to start manifesting money fast is when you become an energetic match for the kind of money you want to attract. So pick a number. I want you to pick a number. So if you want to go with 20K, or maybe you want to go with 10K, right? Because ultimately, you have to do the inner work to believe that this is possible for you. So depending on where you're at in your business, maybe you've never even made any money in your business. In fact, I had somebody, was it last week or this week? This person has, was it 80,000 or almost 100,000 Instagram followers. This person has never made a dollar. She's been running a business for over 2 years. So followers doesn't count, my friend. In fact, I don't even know what to say. The number of followers doesn't count. So maybe you're listening to this episode and you've never made a dollar in your business and you're like, am I even caught out for business? Is this for me? Maybe that's the question you've been asking yourself. You've tried all the strategies. You've tried to change the Instagram algorithm. You've tried to run Facebook ads. Nothing seems to be working long term. And you're wondering why. Maybe you're watching other people succeed and you're like, how are these people doing it? Why am I not making the kind of money I want to make? Here's the thing. Ultimately, the universe wants you to succeed. There is no way that God is biased, right? For what I mean by that is when God created all of us, let's say there was a conveyor belt and all the babies were coming from heaven, right? God was just bringing the babies from heaven and all the babies are on a conveyor belt. Do you think God was choosing one and saying, you're going to be successful financially, you're going to struggle? No. We all have equal opportunities. The universe actually wants you to succeed, but you have to work with the universe and become a co-creator of your success. And the fastest way to do this is by doing the inner work so that you become an energetic match for the kind of money you want to attract. So for this week, I want you to choose a number, and then when you think about making that kind of money in your business, what comes up for you? For some people, it is, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle 10 more clients? And they're so afraid. And inside of them, that's what's keeping them from attracting the kind of money they want to attract. So if you want to make 20K, maybe inside of your subconscious mind, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's going to be a lot of work. And because you have that thought, your subconscious mind is pulling the brakes, which means you're not going to attract that money. In fact, I have found the opposite to be the case. The more money I make, the less work I do in my business. Okay, so I want you to challenge that thought that more money means more work. The other thought I want you to challenge is that when you make more money, it means somebody else makes less. This is one thought that keeps so many people stuck. So maybe you think more for me means less for them. More for me means less for other people. Well, that's not true. In fact, in my business, I find that to be the complete opposite. The more money I make, when people pay me and join my program, the more money they make. Because I know that when they do the inner work, become an energetic match, and then they do the strategies I teach, they make money. So my program is 5K. Someone joins my program, and in the first week, they sign their first high ticket clients for 10K, for example. So, like, without a shadow of a doubt, I know anyone who's lucky enough to come into my program will for sure make more than they invest in my program. Like, I know that for a fact because I know I can help them get unstuck. I can help them get rid of their money blocks. I can help them be consistent, take action from their higher self, take action that is aligned, that's easy, that is with flow. So I know that them coming into my program means more money for them. So I want you to challenge that thought you have that when you accept money from people, when people invest in your program, it means less money for them. So this doesn't matter whether you're a weight loss coach, whether you are a midlife coach. It doesn't matter your niche. So let's go with weight loss, for example. Let's say you're a weight loss coach and your program is 5K for 6 months. So you coach the person for 6 months and investment is $5,000. You have to believe that they're going to get a lot more than the monetary value they invest in your program. How? So think about this. Someone is struggling with their weight and it affects their confidence, how they show up in the world. They're not confident enough to do Instagram lives to attract clients. Or if they have a job, they're not confident enough to talk during meetings, right? By coming into your program, you help them, they lose the weight, they are more confident, and then they go out into the world. in the office, they're able to speak more, and then they get a promotion and they get 50K extra per year. So tell me, do you think that $5,000 they invested in your weight loss program was worth it? Absolutely. And maybe it's in how they show up in their relationships. Maybe now they've lost the weight. They're able to be a present mom, able to be a better mom for their kids. They're able to be a better wife for their husbands. Do you think that that $5,000 they invested in your program was worth it? Absolutely. This is the work I help my clients do. When you see the value of your work, you're going to show up differently. In fact, I had someone come on a consult call and she said the reason she's never sold it, she's so ashamed to go on video. Like, I went through her Instagram, there was never a video of this human being. And let me tell you, this person was so attractive as a woman. She had the presence, but somehow subconsciously that lie that her subconscious mind has told her is she's not attractive on video. And because of that, she's not been able to sign any clients. Because here's the thing, when you go on video, people get to know you, right? Remember the guy I told you about my 20K package? He watched me on video. He watched all my masterclass replays, right? So it's doing this subconscious work so that you show up differently and you take action from an aligned place. Okay, so I've given you an assignment for this week. Let me know what's landing for you. Send me a message on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, any of those social media platforms. I want to hear from you. What's coming up for you? So maybe based off of everything I've said, some emotions are coming up, and maybe you are seeing yourself in these things I've said today. That's okay. That's a good thing, right? So if negative emotions are coming up for you, that's the work we need to do so that you get to the place where you start to manifest money, lots of money fast. That's my goal for you, my friend. I want to invite you, if you want to take this work to a deeper level, I want you to join the Money Attraction Movement. The Money Attraction Movement is my 6-month program where I get to work with you so that you unblock all of those subconscious feelings, those beliefs that have kept you stuck for so many years. I'll help you remove those. I also help you take aligned actions. I help you refine your offer. Many people don't have a compelling offer. So the first step is to create a compelling offer so that you're bold enough to go out into the world to sell that offer. That's the first step. And then I help you with setting up your masterclass. I want you to show up every single month for your people. Not many people are confident in discovery calls. So many people just rely on discovery calls, but some people are so shy. But when you invite them to a masterclass or a VIP workshop, they'll come. I'll tell you how to sell in a masterclass. I'll help you with your content. I'll help you come up with masterclass titles that your audience will find very compelling. The other thing I'll help you do is I'll teach you how to go on podcasts. I'll teach you how to find aligned podcasts where your target audience already listen to and how to position yourself as an expert. This is a great way to build thought leadership. And the last strategy I'm going to teach you is setting up your affiliate program so that other people sell your program for you. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to be confident like the CEO that you are, showing up as the CEO of your business so that you attract lots and lots of money. That's the work we do inside of my Money Attraction Movement. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Send me a DM. I want to help you. That's my mission. My mission in this world is to help people get unstuck so you see how fast you can manifest money. I want you to get off the struggling bus, the struggle bus. No more struggling for money because there is so much more to life than worrying about money all the time. I hope this episode has blessed you today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. See you back here on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope today's episode gave you something powerful to add to your manifestation toolbox, something you can come back to in the future if you need a little extra motivation or alignment. And if you're ready to take this work deeper, I'd love to invite you to join me inside the Money Attraction Movement. This is my signature program where you won't just learn how to manifest, you'll start living it. You'll learn how to amplify your voice, attract premium clients, and create consistent income in a way that feels easy and aligned for you. Head on over to joyroland.com to learn more. I'll see you on the inside.